My name is Ryan Weston. Jumping on the trampoline is such an exhilarating feeling. You feel like you're flying. You feel like, there's nothing else to worry about in the world. I'm a trampoline artist at Cirque du Soleil in Orlando, Florida with the show La Nouba. I've been here for almost 10 years and I have loved being on stage performing ever since I joined the show. And I love doing what I do because I'm able to share my love and passion for art and athleticism to the many people who come see our shows. I grew up in Pocatello, Idaho, which is the center of the universe. It's a very small town, more cows than people. We have, it was a very, small knit town, and there wasn't a lot to do, but there was a gymnastics school in Pocatello, Idaho, where I grew up. And I remember my first day at the gym, and it was love at first sight. I loved doing gymnastics. I started out doing artistic gymnastics and then later moved into trampoline and tumbling, what I do now. But I wasn't very good as a gymnast. I was very bad. But I loved it. I had a passion for it. I just loved it. I didn't have a natural ability for it. In fact, I remember going to one of my first competitions, and my whole family came to see me. And I finished the routine on the parallel bars, and I stuck my landing, and I saluted the judge, and the judge flashed what I thought was a perfect 10. And I was like, yeah, I did it. It was a perfect 10. And I was super excited, and no one else was excited. And I'm like, why aren't you excited? It's perfection right here, right? And my coach came over to me, and he put his arm around me and said, no, Ryan, it's not a 10. It was a 1. So I was very bad as a gymnast. But from there, it motivated me to work really hard. So I did gymnastics for many years, and then after that, I switched to trampoline. And then I had a better knack for trampoline. I had a better sense of my aerial awareness. And then from there, I started competing internationally when I was 10 years old. So... and then after I, was done competing, I was at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, and I turned in my audition video for Cirque du Soleil and got a call back right away, which was exciting. And I got the first show that was presented to me was La Nouba in Orlando, Florida. And it's history from there. I've been here for almost 10 years, and I've loved every minute of it. I think when I first started doing the trampoline act, it was scary, and there are times when it's like, oh my gosh, this is really high. When you look out at the audience, there's, everyone's so little, it's like you're so high, but it's also very exhilarating, and I find that it's beautiful, and I love, like I said, being able to perform and show people this beautiful art form that we get to do every night. And I find that putting on makeup is such a therapeutic and meditative thing. It's kind of funny, but you would think, well, how is putting on makeup therapy? And after my makeup is finished, then I'm up in the training room, and I'm doing a pre-show workout at 5 o'clock with the coach, Matthew. And I love that because it really just warms up my body for the show. That includes stretching as well. I've been with the show for many years, and if I didn't do my stretching and if I didn't do my physical preparation, the show would not happen. I think you have to make sure that you're, ready mentally and physically for the show. It's important, I believe, to have balance with other activities that you do outside of work, so you can have that balance. If you're always devoting so much time to work, I think, having, the art and the music and other things outside of work just helps you keep a balance, and it also helps you become a better artist and more well-rounded as a person. I have always loved art in all of its forms, whether that's, performing on stage, whether that's, doing gymnastics, whether that's doing art or playing the piano or dancing. So I produced a number of different art pieces. Some are show related, some I've done of characters in the show. And I love doing art. It's very therapeutic for me. It's a way for me to express myself that's not physical. It's a way for me to kind of unwind. I also play the piano. And when I bought my house in College Park, which is a little bit more downtown in Florida, the first thing I bought for my house before I even had a bed was a piano, because music is a huge part of my life and it's therapy for me. It's a lot cheaper than a therapist. And I think that after a tough day at work, I can go home and I can paint something beautiful, or I can play a beautiful piano piece, and it just really helps relax me.
This is one of Ryan's paintings. I sort of think of Ryan as a modern Renaissance man. The guy is a painter, a concert pianist, a USA Gymnastics Hall of Fame member, 8-time US champion, international medalist, and on top of that, he's nice, so you can't even dislike him. The idea that we're all created equally, not true. Ryan is more equal than the rest of us.
It was like in my first, or actually the second year that I was actually at Cirque du Soleil, I was performing the Red Pierrot character, and there's a point in the show where there's 2 trampolinists on the building, and they kip up the Red Pierrot and the Titan up on top of the building. Well, I was kipped up and over the building, and I fell. I was not completely out. I was so scared. I did not want to do that image again. But I was able to push through those fears, and I was able to perform that part in the show again successfully, and it was a huge accomplishment for me. I don't know if anyone realized how much of an accomplishment that was for me. I think everyone has that in their lives, and especially with Cirque du Soleil, when there's a job that's so physically demanding, and there's times when it is scary, and there's a lot of problems in the world, but I think that when you realize, you see somebody else that has real problems, and then you forget about your own. I think that was a huge lesson for me in Cirque du Soleil. To me, Nouba is a huge family. I've been with this show for almost 10 years, just shy of a few months of being 10 years. They've known me for 10 years, and not just the other artists, but the stage management and the physio knows me, and everyone in this building is super talented, and I'm so grateful. I feel so blessed in my life to be able to have worked with such incredible people.